Can you imagine what must have been going through the mind of Jesus? Don't y'all rush me, I can see it in your face. Here I am about to ride into Jerusalem. Not sure if they're going to accept me or reject me. But yet Jesus says, I must ride. As he rode in on Palm Sunday, there were crowds of people in the street. They were shouting at him with palms, saying, Hosanna, Hosanna. No doubt in the pit of his belly, Jesus must have been scared, questioning himself, are these people going to be for me or against me? Have you ever gotten an icy feeling in the pit of your belly? I remember one time going to the doctors when they said that the symptoms I had was something that I did not want. And they said, we need to run some tests. And I remember the feeling before entering in to get my results. Have I got a witness? Something similar to what Jesus must have felt as he got ready to get on the donkey. Wondering in his heart, are they going to curse me? Or are they going to bless me? Wondering in his heart, how will I be received? I'm not going in just as a king. I'm going in as the king of kings. He was not only putting his life in danger, but he was also putting the lives of others in danger. He knew what he was doing, but I'm sure there must have been an icy feeling in the pit of his belly. We mostly relate to Jesus as God, but he was also human. I said he was also human. That's what we say when we say God with us. Imagine, if you will, we must have pondered and prayed. He must have pondered and prayed as he went into Jerusalem, knowing and suspecting and wondering if the people would be cheering or jeering, knowing that a change was about to take place. Here's Jesus about to make change. A king rides into Jerusalem on a donkey. What kind of king is this? But actually it was custom that if a king were to ride in, it meant the king was coming in peace. But what kind of king is this? Whenever Jesus tells stories, do you notice his stories are often different than other stories? Jesus tells of a rotten son who was welcomed back to a banquet put on for him. Jesus tells of an enemy Samaritan that would help out a fellow Christian. Jesus talks about the smallest seed becoming the biggest tree. Whenever Jesus spoke, he always said, if you want life, you got to first die. If you want to receive, you've got to first give. Whenever Jesus spoke, there was always something you had to do before he could. See, that's the problem with church folk today. You got the equation wrong. You want to accept, and then you'll give from what you've accepted. But I want you to know that's not how Jesus said it. Jesus says, give, and I'll give it back to you. What? Press. So, what kind of king is this? We live in an age today where we are challenged. Our perspectives and expectations are challenged. Much has changed over the years. Technology that has given us the rise of things in culture and in human expectations and in the future. Years ago, they rode on horse and buggy. Now we ride on engine-run machines. We've gone from bicycles to automobiles, from mail to radio to television, from telephones to cell phones, from writing letters with pen and ink to emailing, and now texting. Change has come. We've gone from slavery and integration to being the president of the United States, to being the mayor of a town, to being a politician of great stature. A change has taken place. Even in today's story, they found that a change was coming. But in this case, it was a change of kingship. They had saluted the king of Rome. They had saluted Caesar. They had saluted all of their czars. expected him clothes and palm branches being waved as he came across. And while he was riding and while he was coming in, they would say, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord." A change has taken place. After years of Roman leadership, the people longed for change. Isn't it ironic that for much of Jesus' ministry, he had exercised his power on the margins of society? Jesus was amongst the poor. Jesus was an outcast. Jesus healed the leopard. Jesus saved the sinner. And now they're looking at him saying, "Hosanna, King of kings and Lord of lords." Are you with me today? Right. You heard the Pharisees tell Jesus, "Rebuke your disciples that are going ahead of you. They're starting to cause trouble in the crowd." Jesus responds to them and says, "I tell you of this, if they were to keep quiet, then the rocks would have to cry out for me." I want you to know something, my brothers and sisters. You don't have to come to church and make a lot of noise. You don't have to come to church and get your praise on. You don't even have to come to church. But I want you to know, if you don't show up, God's got some rocks that are willing to cry out on his behalf. And I got news for you. If you don't cry out now, there will come a day when the rocks will cry out, and they'll say to you, "There is no hiding." Turn to somebody and say, "Don't turn the donkey around." Look at the world and how it has gone after Jesus. Those Pharisees would have been happy if Jesus had turned the donkey around and just rode off into oblivion. The people were fascinated with Jesus on Palm Sunday as he rode in like a king on a donkey. For it was tradition that meant that there was peace. Yet these same people who were fascinated as he rode in on Thursday, these same folk were there on Friday saying, "Crucify him." I'm going to meddle. That's why I tell you, be careful who you say is your friend. Amen. Amen. We got so many brothers and sisters in church that don't have friends. But you are looking for friends. I'm going to give you a secret how you find friends. The Bible says, "He who showed himself friendly." That's what it said. He who showed himself. If you want friends, you must first show yourself. You old mean person, you ain't never gonna have a friend. You old attitude person, you old negative thinking person. Y'all know negative folk? "Oh, how you doing?" "Well, I just wish." "Oh, I'm just..." No, you old negative, you just be lonely by yourself. If you want a friend, you got to first be friendly. If I want a friend, I'm going to do something to make that person want to be my friend. Oh, see, it's that giving, receiving thing again. What did Jesus do to prove he was our friend? He died. He said, "I no longer call you servants, I now call you mine." I don't die for my servants, I die for mine. You got 2 big turkeys in your freezer and your neighbor ain't got none, you say you a friend. If you're a real friend, you'll give them both turkeys and go out and buy you something else. See, I messed y'all up. Y'all thought I was going to say, give them 1 and you keep 1. If you're a real friend, you'll give them 2 and tell them to have a good feast and tell them to invite some other friends. But no, we stingy folk. We'll give them the smallest one and then go and call somebody and say, "Look what I done. Look what I did. I gave Callie a turkey." "Which one?" "The small one." But he didn't have none. You old selfish thing. That ain't no friend. Told you I was going to mess around with it.